The largest exhibition of technology and human achievements, Expo 2020 Dubai, is coming to a close in Dubai. The name was retained from the year before last, when the event was cancelled due to a pandemic. For the same reason, the current exhibition was organized with maximum precautions, ensured by more than 150 service robots among others. The robots deployed at Expo 2020 are a project of the Chinese tech giant specializing in artificial intelligence, Terminus. They all consist of two parts, the upper part, which contains the devices, and the lower part, which supports the robot's body. In this case, the upper part is equipped with basic functions for general use and additional unique to each robot. Some are responsible for sterilization, others for logistics, and others for communication with visitors and so on. For example, the Opti robot is a fully autonomous mascot with the support of artificial intelligence technology. 50 incredibly friendly robots were created according to the drawings of the exhibition management in just 6 months. The small, maneuverable, and human-safe robots can function on a single charge for more than 24 hours. Opti is designed for communication and entertainment. So, throughout the exhibition, the little orange robots had group dances and flash mobs, including a Halloween performance. Food and beverage delivery at Expo 2020 Dubai was entrusted to Talabots. This is the result of integration of the city's most popular food delivery service, Talabat, with the Terminus Group. You can order food from your favorite restaurant on the Talabat website by specifying your location, and in their free time, robots deliver free water and ice. There were security guards among the robots as well. Patrol robots were responsible for the security of the exhibition area, and a special metro station, Expo 2020. The cars are equipped with HD cameras for face recognition, thermal cameras, and an SOS button. They also reminded visitors to follow the safety protocols adopted due to the difficult epidemic situation. Other more versatile delivery robots did such work as handing out maps and exhibit brochures, free snacks and water, as well as voice-informing visitors in response to questions posed. And of course, no high-tech event can do without a barista robot making coffee for visitors. All robots are weatherproof and can operate at temperatures ranging from -10 Celsius to 55 degrees Celsius. When their battery runs out, they return to the charging point, dock autonomously, and recharge without human intervention. This allows machines with artificial intelligence to operate around the clock without human assistance or supervision. The Terminus Group has also signed a long-term lease for District 2020, the smart city of the future located at Expo 2020. There, the company will establish a research and innovation center and open its first international headquarters outside of Asia. Terminus will hardware upgrade the city, equip it with new software, and develop its Artificial Intelligence of Things, or AIT, while there. The pavilions at the exhibition also surprised. For example, the Pavilion of Russia, the theme of which was Creative Mind, you could see a giant brain symbolizing the most complex phenomenon of the universe, allowing you to make discoveries. The German pavilion featured a robot orchestra playing Beethoven. The British pavilion was dedicated to artificial intelligence and was built of wood. Dozens of words appear and disappear on the facade, each written by visitors using a tablet inside the building. From this array, a given neural network forms a new poem every minute. The main decoration of the Chinese pavilion was Ubitech's Panda and Walker humanoid service robots. They interacted with visitors, told them about the pavilion and China's achievements in the field of smart cities, space and agriculture, conducted tours, took joint photos with them, and simply entertained. The robots are built on the same platform. They have 41 joints, can walk and do gymnastics, do calligraphy, and interact with visitors. MindSphere Smart City Solution was presented at the exhibition, designed to digitally optimize Expo 2020, improve visitor experience, and reduce energy and water consumption during the 6-month event through the introduction of an industrial Internet of Things. The solution was developed specifically for the exhibition by Siemens. Initially, MindSphere Smart City worked in 2 areas, environmental monitoring and irrigation to fully irrigated trees while making optimal use of water and energy. Now there are over 200,000 sensors connected to the digital infrastructure. More than 130 buildings in an area of more than 4 square kilometers are interconnected via the Internet of Things. Hundreds of thousands of sensors communicate with the central IoT platform through subsystems. The organizers of the exhibition note that the project implemented here can become a model for smart cities around the world in the future. Visitors to Expo have the opportunity to try the Hyperloop capsule. In the future, it will allow passengers to get from Dubai to Abu Dhabi, covering a distance of about 140 kilometers in just 12 minutes. It's announced that this project will be implemented by 2030. The futuristic transport was presented at the exhibition by Virgin Hyperloop. In addition to the passenger compartment, the DP World's Flow Pavilion also presented a 10-meter cargo container. Both capsules can travel at 1,080 to 1,200 kilometers per hour using environmentally friendly electric propulsion and electromagnetic levitation. According to WOM, the Hyperloop will be able to transport about 3,400 people per hour, which is 128,000 people a day, or 24 million people a year. At the Expo, the Dubai Islamic Bank Pavilion presented the Smart Mirror solution, a smart device with a rectangular shape as tall as a person. Standing in front of it, you can see all your personal banking information in seconds. What accounts and under what conditions are opened, what credits you have, how many cards you have, and what type and other information. The client is recognized using biometric technology by face or fingerprint. According to the owners of the pavilion, by 2050, clients will trust banks not only with their financial data. For example, the Smart Mirror will estimate the state of health, fitness, and attitude towards the environment, and encourage bank customers for a healthy lifestyle or care for the environment with special points, offers, and bonuses. Quite a few pavilions at Expo introduce solutions for urban gardening and vertical farms. For example, urban gardening can be found at sites in Estonia, Singapore, and Finland. The Netherlands has gone even further in this context. At the country's pavilion, Rainmaker technology is being demonstrated. It's capable of extracting water from the air even in the desert. According to the creators of the pavilion, the Rainmaker extracts 800 liters of water from the air daily. This process is based on renewable energy produced by lightweight, organic, transparent solar panels mounted on the roof. And at the same time, the sunlight streaming through the panels helps plants with photosynthesis. At the Banking of the Future Pavilion at Expo, visitors are shown the growing potential of quantum computing in banking. Cybersecurity threats have exponentially increased the risk of financial crime and fraud. With the advent of 5G and connected devices, and as customer transactions increase, so will the challenge of managing data and getting actionable information in real time. And this is where the opportunities for quantum computing come in, according to the organizers. There's also a drone show every night at the Expo, organized by the China Pavilion. In other news, Rolls-Royce announced that electric flying cabs will appear sooner than we all expected, namely within 3 to 5 years. However, we are not talking about flying cars, but about fast and compact electric planes, the engines for which the company is developing. For example, the first commercial application of the P-Volt, a battery electric system developed by Rolls-Royce, will have a capacity of about 600 kilowatt-hours, which will allow transport of 6 to 8 passengers for distances up to 150 kilometers. By 2030, the company plans to create technologies that will allow it to cover up to 400 kilometers in just one charge. And the Chinese company Autoflight published a video for the first flight of its unmanned vertical takeoff and landing cab. The eVTOL Prosperity took off and switched from vertical takeoff to a more energy-efficient horizontal one and back before landing. During the vertical ascent, the apparatus engaged 8 propellers, which should help it support not only its own weight but also that of the 4 people on board. Prosperity climbed to an altitude of 150 meters and accelerated to a working speed of 200 kilometers per hour. The drone is designed for short flights and should be on the market by 2025. The Laboratory for Robotic Systems at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich presented a reconfigurable leg design for walking robots. The leg can switch seamlessly between different modes using a simple mechanism. This should allow engineers to extend the robot's capabilities with additional tasks and ways of moving. Engineers from Cornell University have shown an accessory that recognizes commands spoken without sound. The gadget hangs on the chest and reads information from a person's lower jaw using an infrared camera. A built-in microprocessor processes the information and transmits the command to a smartphone using Bluetooth speech-in module. The researchers emphasized that the camera sees only the chin, which means it preserves the user's privacy. The device is designed for use in crowded places when giving commands by voice is not quite convenient. And developers from the University of Western Ontario have trained the robot to pick mushrooms better than a human. The machine is equipped with a technical vision system allowing it to recognize the maturity of a mushroom by size. The robot can gently pick up the ripe mushroom 24 hours a day without damaging their soft structure. Moreover, the bot remembers which mushrooms should be ripe and returns for prey at the right time. The whole system is built so that it can be easily integrated into any mushroom farm. Russian developers presented a system of interaction between humans and drone archery. It allows improving the accuracy and flight path prediction by 15% and increasing the average level of control recognition by 70%. Drone archery can be used to quickly deploy a swarm of drones to determine plant growth indexes, land cadastral estimates, and cell tower and bridge inspections. In doing so, the operator can precisely set the target and trajectory of a single agent or group of drones. The design consists of a wrist tactile display, gloves with reflective markers, and 3 mini drones. The main feature is the tactile display, which recognizes and transmits signals from the drone to the user, increasing the quality of control. Subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and don't miss any new episodes from the world of high tech. But before we go on, let me say something about today's sponsor, Brilliant. Brilliant is an interactive educational platform for anyone who wants to learn the exact sciences and understand how logic, memory, and deduction work. All courses are built to be hands-on and interactive. You can learn through the website or by installing a mobile app. The main idea of the educational project Diamond is that first you have to learn how to think, develop logical thinking, deduction, imagery. Once you understand how neural connections work, you can solve any problem. The company has been refining ways to teach the exact sciences for many years, adding new interactive tasks and programs. More than 70 courses on the basics of exact sciences are uploaded to the Brilliant platform. School children, students, and all those who want to develop in their chosen field can study. Courses are written by teachers from colleges and universities from around the world. The selection of courses in the exact sciences at Brilliant.org is huge. In addition to educational programs, after installing the mobile app, all participants are offered to participate in daily workshops in their chosen sciences. Brilliant is a great example of the coming future. If you want to explore math, science, or computer topics in depth, Brilliant is a great way to do it structurally, but at your own pace. If you want to join me and millions of other curious people on Brilliant, go to brilliant.org/prorobots and register for free. Also, the first 200 people who follow this link will get 20% off their annual premium subscription.
The US is testing robotic dogs for autonomous patrols at its borders. This was officially announced by the US Department of Homeland Security, stressing that the tests have been successful. The robots are being used to monitor the southern borders, but the timing of their full-fledged deployment is not yet reported. Ghost Vision's 60 machines by Ghost Robotics were originally created for the needs of the US Army. According to the manufacturer, the robots, which are 76 centimeters high and weigh 32 kilograms, are reliable and inexpensive. They can operate in all weather conditions and are able to overcome on a single charge up to 12 kilometers. The machines can move either autonomously or be manually controlled, and they can be fitted with a number of payloads, including thermal imaging cameras and night vision cameras. In autonomous mode, the robots move according to established GPS waypoints and use their cameras and sensors to select a route and inspect specified objects. Ghost Robotics has even demonstrated prototype models equipped with weapons in the past, although there is no confirmation that such payloads are being officially tested. But the Spot robot has been on the Jimmy Fallon Show with Boston Dynamics CEO Robert Plater. Also, recently Boston Dynamics robots starred in a commercial for a brand of American beer. The video turned out incendiary, being at the same time a demonstration of robots' capabilities. The most interesting moment was Atlas's new robot arms, which he used to interact with small objects. Recall that it was the robot arms that company founder Mike Rybert, who also showed up at the end of the commercial, called the main goal of this year's research. We very much look forward to more videos and details about the robot. DeepMind has developed an artificial intelligence that writes code independently at the level of 54% of top coders. The AlphaCode system has been tested in Codeforce's tests used to evaluate programmers' competence levels and has proven that it not only writes program code at the level of best human coders, but also independently comes up with algorithms to solve the tasks proposed to it. This is a significant step towards autonomous coding, the developer said, although AlphaCode skills are not yet quite up to the tasks that average programmers have to tackle. The algorithm received 10 test problems in the same format in which people are given them. It then generated many possible answers and eliminated the wrong ones by running the code and checking the results, just like a live programmer would do. And all this without human input. As a result, AlphaCode hit 54.3% of the best programmers. The creators of AlphaCode have stressed that so far, the research is in early stages, but the results bring the company closer to the creation of flexible artificial intelligence, which will be able to autonomously solve the problems that can only be achieved by people today. Israeli startup Electrion will build the first road with inductive charging for electric cars in the United States. The 1,600-meter stretch will cost the state of Michigan almost $2 million. The Electrion technology is based on a DWPT platform based on copper coils similar to the ones used in wireless smartphone chargers, but much larger. These coils are installed under normal asphalt and generate power through magnetic induction. When an electric car passes over the charging station, the battery pack, equipped with a receiving device, starts charging automatically. The Electrion system assumes that the DWPT control unit must be located at the side of the road and the receiver in the chassis of the connected vehicle. Since not all private electric cars will be able to adjust to the startup technology, for now, the project is designed for public transport. The German company, Continental Engineering Services, together with startup Volterio, will develop fully autonomous robots for charging private electric cars. The system will consist of a unit attached to the bottom of the car and a small floor robot for garage or parking, which will fight a port on its own no matter how you park. The first prototype should be available by the middle of this year, and the finished product will hit the market in 2024. Startup Joby Aviation will launch an air cab service in Seoul. Flying cars will be integrated into the city's transportation system with the support of South Korea's SK Telecom Corporation, which is developing the T-Map mobility platform. The latter integrates car rental parking, cab services, and other transportation services, as well as the joint venture UT, created last year by SK Telecom and Uber. The aircab service Joby will also be part of this venture. To begin with, Seoul will have 1 or 2 air routes. By the end of the 2020s, the city plans to develop up to 10 air taxi terminals. Starlink has launched new premium antennas that increase data reception speeds up to 500 megabytes per second. The price of a monthly subscription has also increased and will be $500 per month for the premium tariff. At the same time, the non-refundable deposit also went up by $500, and the one-time equipment fee became $2,500. The offer is designed for offices and stores and should solve some of the project's problems, including selling the equipment for less than its production cost. RoboBee, a miniature developed by Harvard University scientists that can already fly, land, swim, and feel, has learned to precisely control its course and lateral movement. The robot is now more agile in its maneuvers, which will allow it to be used in a greater variety of scenarios. To do this, scientists have developed a new model that analytically maps how different flight-related sweep signals affect forces and torques, determining the best combination in flight in real time. That's a lot of progress for a small robot. The Toyota Research Institute showed a new video teaching autonomous cars how to drift. The idea behind the research is to use controlled autonomous drifting to prevent accidents by overcoming sudden obstacles or dangerous road conditions such as ice. In the long run, it can improve the safety of cars, which will be able to take control in an emergency situation if the driver cannot do it on their own. The company's experts emphasize that they want to complement and enhance human capabilities, not replace humans behind the wheel of a car. Carnegie Mellon University researchers showed how their robot controls its entire body to maintain balance while carrying a heavy payload. Ballbot actively compensates for the additional weight of the payload by dynamically stabilizing its position and balancing on its single spherical wheel. Swiss scientists developed an implant that allowed a paralyzed person with spinal cord injuries to walk. The technology is based on the use of electrical impulses that mimic brain signals, which transmit signals for action directly to the patient's muscles. A flexible implant is placed under the vertebrae, directly on the spinal cord. The electrodes in it are located precisely at the sites of the spinal nerve roots. The entire system is controlled by an algorithm based on artificial intelligence. As a result, the patient presses buttons on remote controls located on the handles of their walker, transmitting a signal to the tablet as to what exactly they want it to do. A clever algorithm on the tablet generates the correct signals the brain would send to the legs and transmits them to a device on the patient's stomach, which in turn redirects the command to the implant. As a result, the paralyzed person can walk, stand, ride a bicycle, swim, or even engage in other sports. Engineers at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology Zurich decided to make a walker out of a drone. The drone tried to lead a person to a given point by constantly controlling the tension of the cable. The latter is important not only to ensure that the person is walking in the right direction, but also to ensure that they don't get too close to the drone. Tether tension is measured 800 times per second with a force sensor. Interestingly, the engineers still found it necessary to use a shield for the safety of the tester. Who would want to climb into a collapsed shaft to inspect it? Robots, of course. The La Hoist limestone mine in North America recently suffered a massive collapse, making it dangerous for humans and burying all data channels underground. The company's engineers decided to build a low-latency, high-bandwidth wireless IP network using robots from Australian Droid and Robot, ADR. A team of 10 ADR Explorer XL unmanned robots were assembled to place 3 Radiant kinetic mesh wireless underground communication network points inside the mine, the deepest of which was at a depth of 1.7 kilometers and installed 8 robot hubs. As a result, engineers got a good visualization of the collapse site and safe areas where manned robotic explorers could be sent. The ADR robot surveyed all relevant areas of the mine while simultaneously transmitting video data at speeds of up to 80 megabytes per second. This allows the miners to return to the mine to restore power and communications. Any Robotics engineer Takehiro Miki posted on his Twitter account a video testing the adaptive behavior of Animal's robot dog in various challenging situations. The robot coped with almost all different surfaces, including various obstacles, loose snow, and slippery steps. The most difficult tests were of a transparent obstacle, to which the robot could never adapt, and an icy surface on which the robot's legs couldn't find a stable position. Nevertheless, the control algorithm developed by AnyRobots is really impressive. Sam's Club decided to teach its cleaning robots, developed by BrainCorp, to take inventory, namely by inspecting shelves and scanning merchandise items. Sam's Club now operates about 600 machines that have learned the new skill. BrainCorp's approach illustrates the trend of increasing modularity and hybridity, teaching time-proven platforms new tricks and equipping them with new modules, which significantly prolongs the life cycle of the manufactured product. Heavy Robotics teamed up with ClearPath Robotics to create a reliable, simple, and functional mobile manipulator platform. The Jackal UGV autonomous platform is taken from ClearPath Robotics and the controlled wide-range arm demo arm from Heavy Robotics. The robot is lightweight and dexterous, as demo arm can manipulate objects at any angle and endlessly rotate, twist, polish, and blend whatever the customer needs. Apple acquired AI Music, a startup that generates music using artificial intelligence. When creating a track, the technology takes into account the user's wishes, the scope of the music, and other parameters, creating a personalized composition. The main trick is that the music can dynamically change when interacting with the user, reacting, for example, to the intensity of training or the atmosphere of a game scene. It's expected that AI music will be used in various Apple services. Well, that's all we have for today's video, but check out Unitree Robotics' largest ever flash mob of 4-legged robots acting together. 200 robots is a record. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, ring that bell, and don't miss any more of the high-tech world. We'll see you again next time. The US Space Force plans to begin patrolling the area around the moon. An official announcement says that the military plans to expand its space information capabilities beyond the geostationary orbit all the way to the moon, i.e., to increase the controlled space by a factor of 10. For this purpose, it is planned to develop and launch a satellite, probably equipped with a powerful telescope, into near lunar space. Judging by the video, the satellite will be called the Cislunar Highway Patrol System, or CHIPS. Thus, the US plans to monitor all objects and missions launched to the moon or its orbit. It's noted that CHIPS will not include response capabilities to any threats, but will serve primarily to provide situational awareness. NASA's Curiosity Mars rover found a flower of minerals on Mars. Curiosity team members at NASA commented on the find. Quote, "We're finding fascinating things on Mars, but we really need more evidence to say we've identified life. The hardest part is letting go of the notion of Earth and getting rid of the biases we have and really trying to get into the basics of chemistry, physics, and environmental processes on Mars." The research continues. Startup Emerge has introduced the Wave 1 device, which allows you to sense objects in virtual reality without gloves. It is an ultrasonic panel that connects to a VR headset and provides haptic feedback. Emerge Wave 1 is a 26 by 30 centimeter panel capable of projecting volumetric ultrasound into the air. If the user holds their hands over the device, they feel the haptic waves. They focus as dots that are 0.9 meters above the panel and spread 120 degrees around the panel. Wave 1 can be synchronized with the Emerge Home app, which includes many games and social apps specifically designed for the system. The Riken Research Institute in Japan has introduced a robotic android named Nicola. For now, it is only a head, but in the future, it will also get the whole body. Nicola's main task is to create facial expressions that humans can interpret unmistakably. The robot is part of a larger project from Riken called the Guardian Robot Project, which aims to develop an autonomous robot for everyday work with people that can make emotional connections with them. What kind of robot would you rather have around? Like this? Or like this? Let us know in the comments. Bosch has acquired the startup Atlatech, which creates high-resolution 3D maps for Level 3 and Level 4 autonomous driving. Bosch said the acquisition of Atlatech makes the company the only one in the market that can offer its customers all the components they need for automated driving, from actuators and sensors to software and maps. Atlatech's portfolio includes data recording and processing equipment, software and sensor pads, as well as 3D mapping and simulation software for autonomous driving. The company uses data collected from its radar, video, and ultrasonic technologies, as well as additional information such as road signs and sharp turns to train its artificial intelligence algorithms. Edinburgh-based startup Flowcopter has shown tests of the world's first hydraulic-powered cargo drone. The drone runs on certified internal combustion engines powered by hydraulic pumps, paired with electric motors that help the drone gain speed. Each combustion engine produces 129 horsepower and weighs only 5.5 kilograms. The company said that the design can operate continuously for up to 6 hours and fly a distance of up to 900 kilometers. The useful load of the drone can be up to 150 kilograms, but the maximum weight reduces the flight time. The company Meta introduced the BuilderBot system based on artificial intelligence, which creates three-dimensional objects in the virtual world according to the verbal description of its users. Thus, every user can create their own corner of the universe arranged according to their wishes. But how much detail and personalization of this corner is possible, the company did not say. In reality, it depends on how exactly the objects are created. Are they taken from the libraries or are actually designed individually? But the company didn't say anything about that yet. Meta also announced a universal interpreter for all languages. It works even with the rarest and most complex languages. SRI International, an American nonprofit research institute, introduced a system for remotely controlling construction equipment. It is a robotic solution that automates repetitive actions such as digging and provides intuitive remote controls for more complex action. This progressive approach to autonomy is designed to increase the productivity of remaining workers, create new opportunities for remote workers, and encourage new workers to join the industry by making working with equipment safer and more comfortable. Gecko Robotics, which builds robots to inspect labor pipelines and other infrastructure, has raised $73 million in Series C funding. The company's technology is aimed at the electric power, oil and gas, heavy-duty, and defense industries. The TOCA series of robots, which includes TOCA 3, TOCA 4, TOCA 4GZ, and TOCA Flex, are designed to work in certain environments. For example, TOCA 3 is better suited for inspecting medium-diameter pipes and high-temperature surfaces, while TOCA 4 handles boiler walls and curved surfaces better. The developers emphasize that their robots do not replace humans, but make their work easier and more pleasant. Startup SDU Biorobotics has introduced universal module neural control with fast learning for animal-inspired robots on legs. According to the developers, the approach is scalable, amenable to analysis, and resistant to sensor errors, and its learning process is faster than current motion controllers. The demonstration was performed on a 6-legged robot, which was able to traverse a variety of obstacles without training. A group of researchers from Project Hoover showed tests of their hybrid tracked robot and multicopter. Tracked robots are known for their energy efficiency when transporting goods and good cross-country ability, but many obstacles they cannot overcome. On the other hand, multicopters can overcome distances regardless of the terrain, but they cannot carry a heavy load far. The Hoover robot takes the best from both platforms. The prototype, with dimensions of about 180 by 85 by 55 centimeters, weighs 23 kilograms and can take off thanks to 8 propellers. The robot can operate for up to 10 hours in tank mode and only 20 minutes in drone mode. The device can move autonomously or be controlled by an operator. The robot's equipment includes a Sony 4K optical camera, thermal imager, Galileo satellite navigation system, LiDAR, and NVIDIA Jetson AGX Xavier microprocessor. A YouTube user named Curtis Lucas posted a video of his projects. According to Curtis, he owns a small cleaning business and is having a lot of trouble hiring staff. To partially solve this problem, Lucas, with no background in robotics, began building his own commercial cleaning robots. He now has robots costing less than $2,000 each that sweep and mop floors and vacuum carpets. The robots work autonomously and communicate through a Bluetooth app that Lucas also created. He also designed a disinfecting robot. Engineers at the ETH Zurich continue to experiment with the Animal robot. In a new video, they showed how a new real-time full-body planner works with a 4-legged robot with a manipulator whose main task is to avoid collisions while performing various tasks. The robot performed all tasks autonomously. The developers only set goals for it. It is worth noting that the Animal coped with everything very well. Rilab Keist engineers presented their development. It is a movement learning structure in which the control policy and the state estimator are trained simultaneously. The structure consists of a policy network that outputs desired joint positions and a state estimator network that outputs estimates of parameters such as baseline linear speed, foot height, and probability of contact. Engineers used a rapid simulation environment to train the networks, which were passed on to the actual robot. The system allows any quadruped to traverse different terrains such as a hill, a slippery slab, and a bumpy road. Chinese company Deep Robotics unveiled a video of another test of its Zhuying X20 robot. By gradually loading the robot, engineers demonstrated its ability to carry up to 85 kilograms on itself. Such a load slowed the robot down, but did not stop it. The video demonstrates the reliability of the system, but still, the recommended load for Juying X20 is 20 kilograms. The robot can carry such a load for up to 2 hours, while without a payload, it can travel up to 4 hours at 5 meters per second. The company also published a fresh test of the Juying robot in the mud to show that it can work in bad weather conditions. By the way, the robot is also able to move on rocks, gravel, grass, step over 20-centimeter obstacles, and climb mountains with a slope of up to 30 degrees. The Tesla plant near Berlin finally received permission for an official launch. Despite protests of eco-activists, local authorities finally approved the commission of the plant, which is set to produce up to 500,000 electric cars per year. But public organizations can still challenge the decision. Plus, in order to start the assembly line, Musk will still have to wait for confirmation from the local industry regulator of the plant's compliance with air emissions and water use requirements. All in all, despite the approval, the plant's launch date is still impossible to predict. Panasonic has announced its plans to buy a plot of land in the US and build a large plant there to produce a new type of battery for Tesla electric cars. According to media reports, the plant could be built either in Oklahoma or in Kansas, not far from Texas, where Tesla is building a new electric car plant. According to earlier announcements, Panasonic was going to start mass production of Type 46 by 80mm lithium-ion batteries for Tesla in March 2024 at 2 new production lines in Japan. These batteries are about 5 times larger than the ones used in Elon Musk's electric cars now. The increased size and density will help reduce production costs and increase the range of electric cars. Elon Musk refused to block Russian state media on the Starlink network, which he traditionally announced via Twitter. Quote, "Some governments, not Ukraine, have ordered Starlink to block Russian news resources. We will not do that, except at gunpoint. Excuse me for being an advocate of absolute freedom of speech," Musk wrote. Cybercriminals hacked NVIDIA and made one of the most unusual demands ever: to allow NVIDIA video cards to mine cryptocurrencies faster. That is, to remove a feature known as light hash rate that limits the power of GPUs when mining cryptocurrencies. If the company does not agree, hackers promise to leak the schematics and source code of NVIDIA's drivers and firmware online. The California Public Utilities Commission has issued permits to Cruise and Waymo to deploy their driverless robot cabs, which allow both companies to charge customers for their services. Cruise's permit allows its cars to operate on certain public roads in San Francisco from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. Waymo will be able to operate on certain roads in San Francisco and San Mateo counties at any time of the day or night at speeds of up to 65 miles per hour. That said, neither company will be allowed to operate during heavy fog or heavy rain. Yandex, on the other hand, was forced to stop testing robotic cabs in Michigan. Since the spring, the company's 7 robocars have been running there. Yandex's robocars were delivering food to university campuses in Ohio and Arizona as part of a joint project with Grubhub. About 100 Yandex rovers will be shipped to the countries where the company continues to operate. Well, that's all we have for today. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, ring that bell, and don't miss any new episodes from the world of high tech. We'll see you again next time.
Tesla officially opened its first European GigaFactory Berlin and handed over the first 30 Model Y cars to customers. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, several officials, and Tesla CEO Elon Musk attended the opening. Musk did the victory dance, by the way, as per his earlier promise. The plant already employs about 3,000 people, and GigaFactory Berlin will create a total of 12,000 jobs. The plant has projected a capacity of 500,000 electric cars per year, but that's still in the future. In addition to the crossover, GigaFactory Berlin will assemble the Model 3, as well as produce batteries and powertrains. The Japanese robot Asimo has been retired. Having ceased development of the robot in 2018, the company gave it to Honda Welcome Plaza Aoyama, where the robot worked as a guide, tour guide, and entertainer, showing its tricks in a special show. In all, the robot has performed more than 15,000 times over the years. But this year, the robot's 20-year run came to an end, and it was ceremoniously retired. The robot received a letter of thanks from the director of the museum, a bouquet of flowers, and showed everything it could do one last time. The company Anybotics introduced the Animal X, the world's first explosion-proof robot on its feet. The robot is designed to work in oil and gas and chemical industries. The company's announcement indicates that the new product extends the mobility, autonomy, and intelligence of Anybotics' robotic inspection solution, and is specifically designed and certified for safe use in potentially explosive environments, a game changer in the industry. The Robotics Systems Laboratory of Zurich University of Technology showed a new batch of results from its reinforced learning system for four-legged robots on wheels. The robot was taught several new skills and movement styles at once in the simulation. The company's engineers told us that learning multiple skills at once almost does not reduce the speed or performance of learning. In this experiment, the robot was trained in parallel to walk and crouch, as well as switching from four-legged to a humanoid form of movement. The results of the laboratory researchers are, as always, impressive. The German company Festo, famous for its bio-inspired robots, introduced the 3D Cocooner Robotics Spider, which weaves three-dimensional structures from fiberglass. This time, instead of copying the appearance of the robot from a biological prototype, the engineers used an EXPT-45 robot arm equipped with a special extruder, which feeds glass fiber and special adhesive. It hardens under ultraviolet light, fixing the construction, and the excess parts are cut off with a circular saw. At the same time, the material can be softened again to complete the design anywhere. Designs constructions for 3D Cocooner, a computer with special software that evaluates all the characteristics of the future work. The iCub research robot has a new version. It is larger, more powerful, and can be used as a complex telepresence platform with an effect of presence. The iCub 3 is 25 centimeters taller and weighs 19 kilograms more than the earlier version. Now reaching a height of 125 centimeters and weighing 52 kilograms, the robot has 54 degrees of freedom. To control the robot avatar in the video, the operator used the HTC Vive Pro i4 headset, Vive 5 face tracker, iFeel 6 touch and tactile suit, Sense Glove DK17 tactile gloves with Cyberynth Virtualizer Elite 28 optimal directional treadmill. Together, all of these allow you to retarget your manipulation, movement, voice, and even facial expressions from human to robot. Mimic retargeting is applied to the gaze and condition of the eyelids, as well as the user's mouth. At the same time, the user himself receives sound, an immersive first-person view, and a moderate amount of haptic feedback. The iCub 3 has a fairly high-resolution touch skin, but this translates into just a couple of specific vibration nodes that the user wears. That said, the haptic feedback on the hands isn't bad. There's force feedback on each finger and fingertip vibration motors. The DJI has introduced a new compact industrial drone, the M30, capable of flying in pouring rain. It is well protected against moisture and able to function in a wide temperature range. The M30 features a 48 megapixel half-inch CMOS sensor camera with 5x optical zoom and 200x digital zoom, as well as the 12 megapixel wide-angle camera. The drone shoots 8K photos and shoots 4K videos at 30 frames per second. Also in the arsenal is a laser rangefinder, capable of determining the exact distance to objects at a distance of 1,200 meters. The new M30T is equipped with a thermal imaging camera with a resolution of 640 by 512 pixels. It is equipped with a 6-position sensor that help avoid collisions with obstacles. The flight time of the M30 is 41 minutes, and the drone can be charged thanks to the robotic case with a built-in docking station, weather station, surveillance cameras, and antennas. Charging time is 25 minutes. The drone comes with a robotic storage case with built-in charging. The novelty will go on sale in the fourth quarter of 2022 and will cost from $10,000 for the basic version. Panasonic introduced an eco-robot Umos made of moss, which moves around the house in search of comfort. Its main task is to make your home or office greener and friendlier. The robot looks like a houseplant pot that moves around the room on its tiny tentacle legs on its own. The outside of the robot is covered in moss, which is common in Japan, but the main trick is in its smart functions. The device independently moves around the room in search of the most comfortable conditions for the plant. For example, in a sunny weather, the robot will find shade, and in wet fog, it becomes the most mobile and active. Also, robots are endowed with their own character, with their own features to evoke the feelings of animate nature and help people feel a connection with it. Global X ordered 200 eVTOLs from startup Eve Air Mobility to operate a new air cab service in suburban and urban areas of Miami. The quadcopters are scheduled to begin carrying passengers in 2026. The first route from Miami International Airport to downtown Miami Beach, where the city's tourist attraction and major hotels are located, will be up and running. Max Planck Institute for Intelligent Systems and the University of California has designed a very energy-efficient robot leg inspired by bird feet. In Bird's Bot design, the foot is mechanically connected to the rest of the leg joints using cables and pulleys. Each leg contains only 2 motors, a hip motor that swings the leg forward and backward, and a small motor that bends the knee joint to lift the leg. A system that mimics muscles and tendons coordinates the folding of the foot during the transfer phase and helps the robot stand without expending energy. Because of this, the design requires fewer motors than a standard humanoid robot leg and can theoretically scale up to larger sizes. The invasion of 4-legged robots continues. Thus, MAB Robotics has unveiled yet another RoboPass. It is reported that Honey Badger is a lightweight and compact design with a water and dust-proof housing. The robot can work without additional sensors, such as cameras or LiDAR. In this case, the direction and speed is set by the operator, while the robot decides how to move the legs and keep the balance. The quadruped has all the software and hardware, and its goal is to become a versatile carrier platform capable of performing inspections and maintenance tasks, especially in hard-to-reach underground infrastructures such as water and sewer networks and mines. Toy manufacturer Takaratomi has partnered with the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency to develop a miniature robot for lunar exploration. The Lunar Excursion Vehicle 2 robot will be mounted on a slim landing platform and launched into space. After landing, the robot will transform from a sphere into a small rover and will go study the surface of the moon, record its actions in the logbook of operations, and transmit photos to Earth. No word yet on the launch date for the mission. Engineers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology have taught the mini cheetah robot to run faster than a human using simulation. A new machine learning system with reinforcement allowed the robot to learn and run at the limit of its hardware capabilities, taking into account the changing environment and unpredictable factors such as failure of one leg or a slippery surface. By learning in simulation, the robot can accumulate the experience of 100 days of testing just by standing still in place for 3 hours. As a result, Mini Cheetah learned to traverse various terrains and obstacles, and to run at a record speed of 3.9 meters per second for its design. Researchers from Carnegie Mellon University developed a robot training system with a minimum of sensors and equipment. Instead of control gloves with multiple sensors, they used a single camera. The camera captures human movements or even video of the desired movements, and artificial intelligence converts the two-dimensional image into an algorithm of actions for the robot arm, taking into account its size and design. In other words, with such a system, any manipulator can learn new actions by watching YouTube videos. The James Webb Telescope has completed its calibration and sent the first photo of a star in the Dragon constellation of the Milky Way, nearly 2,000 light-years from Earth. Here's a Hubble telescope photo of the same star for comparison. In fact, it's the highest resolution infrared image ever taken from space. Recall that the James Webb Telescope consists of 18 large gold mirrors that collect light from the cosmic sources and focus in on an image sensor. Launched into space as folded, the apparatus is now still in the process of fully deploying and calibrating all systems. Tentatively, the first truly scientific data will be available this July. On the eve of the first flight of Starship from Elon Musk, NASA for the first time rolled out to the launch pad its long-standing project, the Super Heavy Rocket SLS, or Space Launch System, which is planned to be used for the first unmanned launch of the Orion spacecraft. It took 10.5 hours to get the rocket to the launch pad on tracked transporters. Now SLS will check all systems and a wet dress rehearsal, during which will be practiced all the actions necessary to prepare for the launch of the NASA Artemis mission. Based on the results of these tests, the agency will decide on the date of the upcoming launch. As a reminder, the first launch of the launch vehicle was supposed to take place back in 2016, but has since been continuously postponed. Tokyo Institute of Technology, a collaboration with the Museum of Robot Research, has unveiled a Smart Life Cafe cooking robot project that uses a pair of Denso Waves Kubota industrial collaborative arms. The system is not limited to pancakes. It can brew matcha tea, make traditional Japanese sweets such as rice cake, as well as Western treats such as popcorn and more. So far, it is an experimental development and the robot does not do everything, but it still looks surprisingly nimble. Rostec has developed the Jupiter Complex, designed to organize drone flights in urban environments. The solution was tested using 5G technologies in the experimental urban air mobility zone in Skokolvo. The complex provides the necessary functions for drone flight planning, information support, registration, accounting, identification, authorization, geofencing, surveillance, and monitoring. In addition, the system issues alerts in case of deviation from the route, dangerous approach to the infrastructure objects, or other aircraft. In the future, Jupiter will make it possible to establish delivery in the cities with help of drones, and maybe even the work of air cab services. Adam Savage recently delighted fans with a new invention, an instant reaction hat that fires darts at a targeted point by the device's laser guidance. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and don't miss the new releases from the world of high technology.